How's it going, guys? And this is Kingy here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And well, I don't know if you can notice anything different with this video. If you do, let me know down in the comments. But anyway, today we're going to be tackling Clan Boss. And our idea here is to go for a full auto 1 key thanks to the new updates. And the team we're going to be going with is a killable version, but using Gnut, Sandler Survivor, Hotatsu, Rhea Bone Spear, and Tagore. And the whole point of it is it's a 2-to-1 ratio team using Tagore and Soundless Survivor. These two with the increased speed and the buff extension. They will get us into the 2-to-1 ratio. Gnut is going to be our massive DPS. Rio is going to be there for affinity friendly. She also brings debuffs, so I don't have to worry about debuffs from any of the others. But if you can use any sort of cleanse, block, debuff champion in her slot, but if you do, you just need to bring in some sort of debuff champions. Then we're bringing Hotatsu in here. He's coming in just with the increased defense, continuous heal, and every now and then a little bit of a leech. So he's just to keep the team alive and keep them kicking. I chose Sandlash over Godseeker because she has the ally protection passive, and this team has a ton of heals. I may as well get into the team a little bit more here. So basically, we'll start off with Hotatsu. I'm turning Hotatsu's A2 off. I could keep it on for a more reliable decrease attack, but I don't think it's needed. And then other than that, would just prioritize the A3, even though the AI would do that automatically, which is an increased defense for 2 turns and a continuous heal for 1 turn in all allies. So that's really nice. His passive will not really come into effect at all in this fight, and then A1 brings a leech. He can do a little bit of damage, but I don't have him build for damage at all. I've got him in a Guardian set, so that way he can help with a little bit of protection, and he's got a little bit of accuracy there. Mainly just hitting that speed tune with a bit of defense, bit of HP on Guardian set. Then we've got Tagore. He is in a Stalwart set with a chunk of HP and some decent defense. Really fast at 269, the fastest champion of the comp. Crit cap, not much critical damage, but also not much attack, so it's not so important. Yeah, so he's just coming in with the A2 is his main thing here. So it places a 30% increased speed buff, but also heals all allies. That's a nice heal. And then his A1 can also place increased defense, but I don't think it really comes into effect with this team. And then from his passive, we also get a decreased damage received by all allies, with 50% HP or less by 10%, which will work fantastic with Soundless Survive's passive, which is places a 50% ally protection buff for 2 turns when any ally's HP drops below 50%. So when the clan boss does those multiple hits with his A1 and A2, both she will proc and Tagore's damage mitigation will proc, which will really help. Especially because this team doesn't have a strengthened buff, like if it might if you are bringing a Lydia or something. Then Gnut, he's just coming in. So we've got this here. He places decreased attack and weakened just to make sure we get them. And he also gets counter attack, which is real nice because that means he's never going to take the stun hit. And he just deals tons and tons of damage with his A3 and a nice little chunk with his A1. So happy days there. And when he counter attacks, he deals 100% of damage, which is also awesome. Rio has no damage build whatsoever, no critical rate, no critical damage, and she also doesn't have War Master. Granted, if she had War Master, this team would be a lot better, but I think I already had the Master Race done on her, and I don't want to spend 150 gems just to get an extra couple million damage. I thought, hey, the team's a 1 key, so I'll just leave it at that. So the speeds are Hotatsu at 254, Tagore at 269, Sandless Survivor at 257, Gnut at 217, and Rio at 223. There's a little bit of play with all these speeds, but basically you got to make sure that Hotatsu is slower than Sandless Survivor, and just go through around and play with the speeds. You could use the Deadwood Jedi site to really have a look, and yeah, just make sure your speeds are going to work. Gnut at 217 is about as slow as you can go with him, and Rio's 223, I think she can go a couple speed faster, but not truly that much. And then Tagore 268 be his minimum, but of course he can go faster. Now as for other champion replacements, Hotatsu's best replacement is Iron Brago, Really, really amazing champion for that slot. Tagore's best replacement is probably going to be Lydia, the Death Siren, because she brings decreased defense, weaken, as well as increased speed and strength on the one ability. And then she also has block buffs, which is great because it just stops the clan boss from bringing up his increased attack. Sandlash Survivor, well, there's a lot of amazing increased buff duration champions out there. There didn't used to be, but now there is a ton of them. Like the Iron Gut dude, for example, absolute beast, absolute monster. But Sandlash is a really, really good option because of her passive, which brings ally protection. And Gnut, just a damage champion, any solid damage champion he could slot in with. Again, if you bring a damage champion who has decreased defense or something like that, then in Rio's spot you could go with like a Pythion or someone really cool like that. But yeah, that's the team there. And we'll do the really, really... I don't know what changes I made. We'll do the really, really quick battle, and we'll see how we go. Hiya! And we do a quick battling. 88.93 million damage. I think that's a 1 key. The clan boss turns at 52. This is what I really like. Hotatsu, 8.2 mil. Tagore at 7.8. Sandlash Survivor at 13.2 mil. And Gnut at 54.5 mil, with Rio coming in the end with 5 million damage. Now, I've done many teams like this here, where Rio comes in and I actually build her with a bit of damage because the team allows it, such as if you bring a Lydia into the team, and she can get us a nice chunk of damage. Soundless Survivor in a team that has, like, say, an Iron Brago, reliable, and then maybe a couple more Guardian sets. Also, you can build her critical damage up, because then she can, take a bit of hit from increased critical damage with her ally protection, and then she can deal some nice damage. But yeah, as you've seen, Hotatsu didn't even have crit rate, and he's got like 95% critical damage, but still managed to pull out 8.2 million. That, I think, is pretty insane. Hotatsu can do some work. We'll go into the champion builds, and you can see what's in them. As you can see, not a whole lot of blessings, but I really went specific with them. On my legendary champion, I picked up Brimstone. On my epic champion, I picked up Cruelty. And on Soundless Survivor, the ally protection champion, I picked up whatever that one's called. Let's have a look. So we'll go to Hotatsu first, because we just talked about him. No, we'll go fastest to slowest. Yeah, we'll go fastest champion to slowest champion. So the fastest champion was, in fact, the increased speed champion in Tagore. A really, really good epic. Probably underrated a little bit. What are his reviews? Still solid reviews. Demon Lord only a 4.6. In this sort of team, that's an easy 88 million damage in this team. I'd say he's a bit better than that. He's a pretty good champion, I'd say. But of course, this is an endgame team. 1 key auto, full auto, no messing around. So of course, there's a bit of a gear insanity on all these champions. So we'll have a look at his artifacts. We've got Stalwart gear and Perception on him. Stalwart is great, minus 30% damage taken from AoE attacks. Perception, speed and accuracy. What more could you want? But yeah. So on his gloves, we've got critical rate with a 1-star ascension. Just speed is mainly what I'm going for there. Critical rate main stat and speed on the substat, that's all I'm really going for there. On his Stalwart, we've got HP percentage. Higher HP means nice heals. And we've got speed again. Again, that's all I'm going for, just trying to hit that speed tune. Speed on the boots with a little bit of critical rate. On the shield, we've got speed and critical rate. On the helmet, speed, believe it or not. Then we've got a little bit of HP and defense, but I think that's more of just to hit the right speed tune, that one. And then on the weapon, triple speed. So yeah, as you can see, all of the gear is just trying to get him to the speed. And then as for the this amazing ring, defense main, and then quad defense roll, really just trying to stack up his stats with the accessories here. Again, defense on the amulet, and defense with speed again on the banner, which brings him to 51k HP, 3.2k defense, 269 speed, crit cap pretty low, 110% critical damage, and very low attack, so it doesn't quite work out very well there. As for his masteries, We've gone with offense, we've gone down to War Master, taking the general path for Clan Boss, and then also the general path for Clan Boss in the defense tree, picking up Retribution to try and get some counterattacks. I love to get like other champions on revenge accessories to get more counterattacks, but that's what it is. He has got a decent aura with a HP percentage in all battles, but I decided to go for the defense percentage. And not just for the defense, but also to make sure that Hotatsu, when it comes to say a Force Affinity Clan Boss, is the one that takes the stun hit and not Tagore, because Tagore has such higher HP. We don't want the stun hit to do exponentially more damage onto him. So that's the fastest champion there in Tagore. Then the next one is Sandlash Survivor. She's in a speed set and a stalwart set again. Stalwart is really, really good on her because she does have the ally protection. She is bringing it for the team. Even though it's on a 4-turn passive cooldown, it still does a lot of work, that ally protection. And then just to help her out, I also got her on a blood shield ring, just to give her a bit of a shielding as well. Which means I lost a little bit of defense and HP, but that's alright. The blood shield ring, I think, really adds to it. Especially if you get a War Master proc when you get that hit. It's really, really good. So she's got 46k HP. I couldn't bump it up too much, which is why I opted for Stalwart gear for her. Because again, as you've seen, she was the stun target there. If I bump it up too much, it's going to take too much damage and it's going to be hard to heal up. But yeah, so I went 46k HP, 4k defense, because she's not stacking heaps of critical damage. Because the more critical damage she has, the more damage she's going to take from this the ally protection. So I really just tried to keep that low, but really to stack up raw damage from high defense. She's got crit cap and at 257 speed. Her slowest speed is about 255 or 256. I think it's 256, and then you can go a few speed faster than that. Accuracy on her could be handy because she can decrease that increased attack by 1 turn, but it's not really the point of this team or really how it works. Maybe if you brought in another champion who does something similar like that, it might play out nicely. And we've also got a blood shield, a revenge ring on her. As for her main sets, critical rate in the gloves with speed, defense with speed, speed with critical rate, speed and HP and defense, speed and HP, and speed, critical rate. That's pretty much how this champion is. It's just getting the speed tune, like with all the champions, and then just enough to survive. Now, the blessing is Faultless Defender. So this champion will receive less damage from each subsequent hit from multi-hit skills. This really, really works, and the damage reduction increases with every additional hit, which is fantastic on Affinity Clan Boss. Because with that Affinity, he does multiple hits on his AoE 1, and his AoE 2. Lots of hits on the AoE 2, so this really helps with that damage mitigation by quite a lot. Her ability here attacks one enemy 2 times, so decent hit, doesn't do anything else really for the Clan Boss. And the A2 attacks all enemies to decrease the duration of all enemy buffs. That's where the accuracy can come in handy, but you really need it to pair with another champion who does something similar. And then increases the duration of all ally buffs, absolutely critical. I can't remember if I showed the preset, but you need to open with the A1 and prioritize the A2. Masteries are just set down to War Master, and then going down the defense tree to hit Retribution as well. A few counterattacks, a little bit of damage. And then after her, we have Hotatsu. Now Hotatsu I got in the Cruelty Blessing. It's only a 1-star, so it doesn't do a whole lot, but it's a little bit of something. His passive, like I said, doesn't come into play. His A3 with the increased defense and continuous heal is nice, especially more and more heals. This team has lots of heals. His A1 with the leech, again more heals, but also does a decent chunk of damage. And then his A2 I turned off, just so I can get more A1s out there. And then we're using Hotatsu's aura with 25% defense in all battles, which is going to be really good, and also means he's in the lead, so he will take the stun hit over to Gore. Then for the artifacts, we've got speed and guardian, like I was saying, so he soaks up a little bit of that damage that gets shared around. On his amulet, we've got critical rate. On the chest, we've got defense percentage with speed and critical rate. Of course, critical rate gloves are just going for more speed. On the boots, we got speed, and that's it. There's nothing really anything else interesting in the substats there. For the shield, just speed, tiny bit of critical rate. Helmet, speed. Weapon, speed. Banner, believe it or not, speed. Don't even have the HP glyphed. Defense on the main stat though, so a bit nice. Amulet, HP. And the ring, HP and HP with a little bit of defense, so that's not so bad. So that brings his total stats up to 40k 8 HP, 4k defense, 254 speed. That's about as fast as he can pretty much get. I think you can go a little bit faster as long as he stays slower than Sandlash Survivor, but you can go a little bit slower with him, which is nice. On his masteries, we've just gone typical, down to War Master, and over across to getting Retribution, taking the typical clan boss offense and defense paths. That's Hotatsu, nice and easy. At least I think it is. Nice, easy build. As you can see, I didn't go anything too crazy with him. And then after that, so we've done Togor, we've done Sandlash, we've done Hotatsu, 1, 2, 3 epics, and now we go over to the legendary. Next in line is going to be Rio Bone Spear. She's also in a Guardian set with a Perception. Her masteries are nothing good. Do not look at these masteries. If you want a clan boss mastery for Rio Bone Spear, you probably want to look at something a little bit more like this, going down to War Master. You might want to take the steadfast path down to Lay on Hands, across to Healing Savior and Merciful Aid, or you want to go with the defense path, which works really well with Rio in a Guardian set, picking up the typical defense tree all the way down just to take and soak up a bit of that damage without killing yourself. But the Rio Bone Spear we went with was this one. So this is like an arena mastery for a Rio Bone Spear, picking up things like Bulwark, Laura Steel, and still picking up the heals going all the way down to Lasting Gifts. So yeah, definitely if you're going to use her, and if you're struggling to get that 1 key damage, you really do want to pick up War Master. And her A2 can do a serious hit as well. If you want to put a bit of damage on her, feel free to. As for her skills, her A1 can place a continuous heal on an ally. Her A2 places every goddamn debuff there is, and is a brilliant smack as well. And then her A3, gigantic heal. Might say 35% of their HP, but that is massive when you add in all the healing multipliers that she can bring. 20% in bulks, extra little bit from masteries. Oh, it is a gigantic heal. Cleanse and block debuffs, which is sweet. And then of course you got this here when receiving any debuffs. Transfers them, but this will not come into effect with Clan Boss because it's going to have block debuffs on. So yeah, that's Rio Bone Spear there, pretty much in a nutshell. As for her gear, we've just gone with speed and HP. HP with some accuracy and speed. Her accuracy is way over the top, by the way. Defense percentage. Could have gone critical rate to get some damage out, but I just really went for the speed tune to get the right speed on this champion. I really didn't worry about much else. Speed, HP, HP. And then again, we got defense with HP, defense with a little bit of HP, nothing really, just defense. And then accuracy with just a little bit of speed, because I was almost getting too much speed there. But her stats came at 63k HP, 3.5k defense, 223 speed. Her ideal speed is about that 221 around, but you can go a little bit faster and a little bit slower. Not enough critical rate, not enough critical damage, and way too much accuracy. So yeah, that's what Rio Bone Spear's build is. Again, I didn't want to go too crazy for her because she is a Void Legendary. I didn't want to give her a crazy build and go, oh yeah, look at Gnut. This team's about sorry, not Gnut, Gnut. Look at Gnut. This team's all about Gnut, but I secretly just slid in an amazing Void Legendary. So I kept her stats and gear pretty reasonable that any champion could pretty much knock up. As for Gnut, the man, the dwarf of the hour, we'll start off with his masteries. His masteries are a little bit different. You're taking the Clan Boss tree to be able to pick up Giant Slayer. We still want to pick up Methodical because that does add up a ton of damage over time. And then of course also went down the support tree to pick up a little bit of accuracy, but mainly also to get a bit of Laura Steel. I would like to get some other stuff on him. The defense tree is really solid for him in Clan Boss, but I went with the support tree because I wanted to use him in like Hydra, so I wanted to really buff up his accuracy there as well. And we've got Brimstone on the Blessing, sorry. So this here will help with dealing a ton of damage. Brimstone really does bring a lot of damage over a clan boss fight. Seriously, one of the best blessings. Probably the definitely the best blessing to bring is Brimstone. You only need one legendary champion with it, and even though he's 1 star, he still manages to get a lot of damage out of it. His passive just allows him to deal full damage on counter attack. His A3 does an insane damage, and damage based on defense and enemy max HP. Absolutely crazy. Each hit also heals the champion, so straight up full heal. Straight up a full heal. And then it also decreases the target's defense by 30%, stacks by 3% and stacks up to 30%. Absolutely insane. As for his A2, we've got decreased attack, weaken, and counter attack, which is awesome because it attacks them. And then you get a counter attack with full damage, so it's really, really nice. And him getting that counter attack on him means that he's not the stun target, but Soundless Survivor is, which is really, really cool as well. And then his A1 is just a triple hitter. Nothing else there comes into play for the clan boss, but an amazing, amazing abilities there against something like the Fire Knight. Seriously good. His artifacts. So we did go with a defense on the main stat, but triple on the critical damage. Now I've done this here because he does lose his increased defense. So I really wanted to stack that defense up to about 4.9k. So that was quite important there. So yeah, defense on the ring again, just trying to stack up that defense. On the banner, we went HP with defense and speed and more HP. Really, really solid all-round banner, especially good for clan boss, but maybe not great for like specialty builds and like arena. But amazing clan boss banner right there. Again, banner and amulet counter attack, so that'd be really solid in something like Hydra. As for his gear, we have got 3 sets of perception, just banking up that accuracy and a bit of speed. Really, really good set. So we've got critical damage with HP. I really extended out that HP just to help him out a bit because he is one of the first champions to die. It's between him and Rio Bonespear that die first. Him because he loses the increased defense and he's just a little bit lower HP champion overall. So I really stacked up his HP to help bring him up. And Rio because she soaks up a ton of damage thanks to Bulwark and Guardian set. So we've got critical damage and HP, and we've got critical rate with a little bit of speed for the speed tune. Then on the chest, we've got defense percentage with a nice accuracy ascension, and triple critical damage with a little bit of speed. On the boots, speed, critical rate, nothing really too much important there. On the shield, critical rate, critical damage, accuracy. On the helmet, critical rate, speed. And then on the weapon, I didn't even finish leveling it out. I probably could and I might get some more HP, but it's not worth it. It's not worth the silver. And that's pretty much the only 3 substats we really want. If we wanted this to be a perfect substat for him in Clan Boss, it will roll the HP, but I don't want to waste the silver. We've got speed, double critical rate, and critical damage. All of that brings his stats up to 47k HP, 4.9k defense, 217 speed. Really, really nice. His like midpoint is about 218, so you can go a little bit down, a little bit up, but I think you can't go any lower than 217. I think you can go like 216.9, but that's pretty much the minimum. After that you want to go up, but again he needs to still be slower than Rio Bonespear. So if you take him to say like 222 and Rio's at 221, won't work. So you got to keep him slower than Rio. 100% critical rate and only 237 critical damage. I say only, remember this is an endgame team. Of course, if I put a critical damage amulet on him there, I could deal a little bit more damage, but I figured I wanted the defense just to keep him alive, because an extra turn or two, I'm sure will bring out more damage than, especially if he gets one more of those A3s out. Whew. But yeah, I decided to go with the defense amulet, because that A3, the A3 is pretty much maxing out the damage there is anyway. And then of course, tons and tons of accuracy. So yeah, that's the team. Wow, it's a lot easier to do clan boss videos with that autocomplete now, isn't it? Well, hopefully this helps some of you guys and all of you out there to maybe build a fully auto 1-key team. I like this team. It's one of my favorite style of composition teams. I used to run it with, like, when I first started getting into Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, like in 2-to-1 ratios with an Iron Brago with his fusion, and I think I was using Apothecary for a long time. That was a hard 1-key. And then of course I unlocked Lydia, and then it just became an easy 1-key. And then Helicat Fusion came out, so now I just gotta block damage team, but this here is still one of my favorite type of clan boss teams, especially on the 2-to-1 ratio. So do comment below what you think of the video, and do comment if you figured out what's different with this video. Oddly enough, we'll get into it maybe next video or something, but I've just been working on upgrading my PC. I say upgrading it, and it's probably still like 5-6 years behind the rest of you who may play on computer. Don't have the best PC here, but it's new for me, and it's awesome. It beats a 15-year-old GPU with a 10-year-old motherboard and some old terrible pre-built HP thing. So anyway, thanks for watching this far, and I'll catch you guys later. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.